Say hey everybody, welcome to Show to Be with Mike G, the show of guitars, the show of life, the show of booze. Today is fucking Jeff Boley Day. I can't tell you how many people have just cheered when they heard that Jeff was going to be on the show. I like the fact that I could say the show. Jeff's been everywhere, done everything, and is one of the coolest guys I have ever talked to. We got to talk about Lemmy, we got to talk about Black Flag, the Afghan Wigs, which is an interesting story. And we got to talk about how life just takes you different places. It just does. So without further ado, I share with you a great interview with the incomparable Jeff Boley.
When I was young and first heard Motorhead for the first time, it was just that pedal to the floor, fifth gear, rock and roll.
He doesn't. It's unabashed.
There's nothing to compare it to.
No, not at all. Because he's got a brutish, ugly fucking voice. He really does. But it's so powerful still.
Oh, and the tone on the Rickenbacker bass is
it's
horrible.
Insane. It sounds like a tin can. You know, like just a muffled tin can. But there's something still so very driving about it.
Oh, it's iconic.
Yeah,
it's iconic. And then the driving 3-chord riffs and
it's punk rock, but it's slowed and it's just a bit more aggressive. It's like Eurotrashy, but he's not. He's German, right? But he's not. He's from the States, basically. He's from L.A. more or less. Yeah,
basically, right? He's lived in L.A. most of his adult life.
Yeah. Did you ever get to hang out with him?
I've had brief moments in passing with him. Yeah, like basically just I touched Lemmy. It was basically what it comes down to.
Did he look at you peculiarly? Like,
no. He was very gracious and very nice and shook my hand. And but at 22 years old, I was a complete fanboy. I was probably drooling on myself.
Did you share a drink with them?
I shared a drink with him and about 8 other people.
Oh, still.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Close enough.
Jack Daniels guy? Is that right?
He's a Jack Daniels drinker.
Yeah.
I think I was drinking Makers at the time, but we all just had whiskey raised up in the air. It was good.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
So do you, obviously, there's people like, some guys are film guys. I know a lot of film guys. But I always, even though I don't know that much about you, I always considered you a music guy.
Totally.
And that's fair, right?
It was my first, rock and roll was my first love.
Yeah, and you're wearing a Butthole Surfer shirt. So obviously, Mr. Haynes, he's still in town, right? I think
he's still around.
Funny thing about him, I worked at Best Buy for a long time. And he came into my memory in the early 2000s. And I'm like, he's buying RAM for a computer? It was like this mind fuck because you would never expect he would give any concern to a computer,
Oh, man.
So, but
Gibby's one of the cooler parts of Butthole Surfers. Jeff Pincus, man.
That's your guy?
Oh, Jeff Pincus. The bass and the Surfers is my favorite part to watch.
Did you catch them kind of early on in Austin?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, in Dallas. I was living in Dallas and I moved to Dallas in 86. So I was in Dallas from 86 to late 91.
Yeah. Was Scratch Acid around that time, too?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever catch them?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, how was it?
Oh, great. Yeah, they were awesome.
They reunited, but I didn't catch them. And
they were... The shows that I was seeing in Dallas in 86, 87, 88, down in Deep Ellum Theater Gallery, and we were seeing like the Flaming Lips open for the Butthole Surfers.
Yeah,
we were seeing Scratch Acid and just some really roughneck. The Loco Gringos and the Hickoids and bands like that.
And there's apparently some documentary about mid early 80s Austin music coming out too.
Yeah, it's about time.
Oh yeah.
Because it doesn't get enough attention like Seattle does.
Seattle does. DC deservingly, right? But yeah. I mean, you can't ignore Bad Brains. Can't ignore Minor Threat, Fugazi, Right to Spring, any of that shit.
Yeah.
Well, so where did you're here in Austin. I have a feeling you've been here for a bit, but you lived in Dallas too. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in San Diego.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I did my last 2 years of high school in San Jose.
Yeah. Totally different vibe, right?
Wow. What a big change that was.
Why'd you move to San Jose?
Because my mom got married and moved to Dallas from San Diego, and my dad was living in San Jose. I was
you stayed with your father,
Texas.
Yeah. But then it's like San Jose. That maybe Texas isn't so bad.
I lived in after I got out of high school. I went up to San Francisco for about a year, and an 18-year-old, boy fresh out of high school in San Francisco is
shocking experience. Or did you make many old man's like fantasies come true?
Oh man,
they scout you out.
If I would have been smart enough to be the boy in the bubble and make $1,000 a day, I probably would still be old man in the bubble.
It's not bad. It's not bad living. Well, so what kind of? So you were into San Diego to San Jose. This is kind of the. I won't even age you, but let's say it's mid 80s, early 80s.
Totally, yeah. Mid 80s.
What was high school like at that point? Because I romanticize the mid 80s because whether it's new wave stuff, we're talking about Morrissey, like I'm a huge Depeche Mode person, but also a massive Minor Threat, Black Flag, like all those Southern Cal bands or California bands.
Yeah, I kind of crossed all those boundaries. I was one of the smart kids, like in the smart classes at school, but I was also a total stoner brat, listening to metal and. Back then, metal was.
It was like subversive, man. It was like now it's a bit, everybody's metal. I've heard of metal.
Yeah,
you got the sword.
You've got when you talk about metal, you're talking about 18 different genres of music.
Yeah, for sure. Where it was then, it was like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, right?
And the new kids coming up like Metallica.
Yeah, Well, talking about mid 80s. Was that so? Did you have the long hair and the tattered shirts and all that?
I did that. I got there.
Yeah,
around 20. By the time I got to Dallas and started playing in rock bands, around the 80s was when I discovered, those. Like those Minneapolis bands like Husker Du and Soul Asylum and Replacements. And I mean, by 1987...
It was different, right? Because it wasn't... It was normal dudes playing abrasively loud music.
Yeah.
Because it's not metal. Because metal, for some reason, like I think about Sabbath, I think about Judas Priest. Those guys put on a show. They were putting on different clothes. They were being different guys.
Well, and singing about fairies wearing boots and shit like that. These guys were singing about
Bob
shit
Mould's talking about being an alcoholic.
Right.
Right? Like Paul Westerberg is just fucking around on tape all the time being a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something real about
reading the ads off the back page of some newspaper.
I mean, it's a different move. So were you playing music in high school, or was it just the impetus to kind of get you to start thinking about playing?
I was trying to play guitar, poorly trying to play guitar.
Poorly trying.
Actually, I was holding a guitar, acting like I played it while I was singing.
Was it for the girls? That's what most people do. Totally is. What was it? What was that guitar?
335.
Oh, cool.
My first guitar was a 335.
You still have it?
No.
It's a good semi-hollow, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gibson E335, right?
Yeah, it was actually hollow.
Oh, it's totally
Slimline, totally hollow. Oh, cool. Yeah. And that's a Chuck Berry guitar.
And it didn't let him play it in Plastic Ono Band too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The maroon one.
The maroon. Well, it's like I have this one here, which is not E335, but kind of a riff on it. The dots, So you moved to Dallas, and is that when you say, "Oh, now I get the guitar thing"?
It's kind of the same thing for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Moved to Dallas. Went from I was also skating back then too.
Oh, really?
And so when I got to Dallas, there were no more pools.
Oh, no way.
No pools to skate in Dallas, where I skated parks and pools and stuff.
You a Caballero guy?
Had to learn. I'm a Craig Johnson, Jeff Phillips guy.
Jeff Phillips guy. It was a big part of the. I don't think that was as big of a deal in Texas, like as part of the culture, right? Like skating and stuff.
I found a pretty good pocket.
Did you? Good. Cool.
Like the clown ramp in Dallas that's where Craig and Jeff and Johnny Gibson was coming up from Houston. And, just made a nice little group of skate crew there.
Yeah. And you said you were early 20s then?
Yeah, I'm at right about 20,
something like that.
Yeah, and that leads into, hey, we're going to go see the Circle Jerks tonight.
Yeah.
At this garage, downtown. And start to see those shows. And then watching these guys play guitar.
It's Fast and Furious, man. Hetson is he's nuts.
Well, then you look at that and you go, oh, I can totally do that.
Yeah, because he's just like flailing with himself against the guitar. You know? And it's funny, like I never, these guys on stage seem like such larger than life. Another dude that came into Best Buy, Greg Hetson, buying blank CDs. I'm like, hey, Greg Hetson. And he's just like diminutive, kind of mousy, and he's kind of older at that point. And it's like, you can't even imagine how voracious they are on stage, just being that way.
Man, saw Mike Watt a couple weeks ago.
What?
Oh man,
in town?
He during ACL, Jeff Smith, that singer from the Hickoids, that he's got a record label down in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
Every ACL, the first week of ACL, he comes up here and he throws a free festival.
No, where is it at?
He played this year. He had a couple of different venues. This year, the big shows were at Gatsby.
Okay, cool.
Over there across from Easy Tiger.
Yeah.
So Mike Watt played Thursday and Friday.
What Mike Watt just came in to play bass on stuff?
Just came in.
Wow.
He had the shows booked, free shows.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday. I couldn't make the Thursday show. Walked into the Friday show and walked up to Jeff. Said, "How was last night?" He goes, "Oh, it was great. He did it. He did ball hog tugboat. He did some fire hose stuff. Really good." And I was like, "You think he's gonna do that tonight? I want to hear the old stuff." And Jeff kind of leans in. He goes, "How do you like the Minutemen?" And he did.
They're pretty good.
About an hour and 20-minute Minutemen set.
You know what? You know how many people I heard talk about that show? Zero.
You're kidding. Well, I was probably the youngest person in the crowd.
But still, man, that's insane. Like, that happened just down the street, but then Drake's got all this press and stuff. It's insane to think about that. Because Mike Watt, from my understanding, he doesn't play Minutemen stuff all that often, does he?
Not very often.
He's just touring with Iggy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's in doing some rock opera concept albums and stuff like that.
Yeah. But he's got this band, the Missing Men, who are two guys, I can't remember either of their names, but they went to back him up on the tour of his last record, the one before this one that recently dropped. And the guys that recorded that record couldn't go on tour with him. Oh, man. So he pulled these two guys. They called them the Missing Men. So they toured that record. They were opening for Dinosaur.
Oh yeah, because wasn't Jay playing guitar for Iggy? He was.
He did some shows. Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Oh man, I got to see Jay Mascis in the Fog. In Portland about 10 or so years ago. That's Mike Watt and Jay Mascis.
Oh, dude, loud.
So much guitar.
How many? He put so many cabs on stage. Like, it doesn't even. I think scientifically it doesn't even make sense. Like, it's not actually. Well, Jay, after the fourth cab, it's actually can't get any louder. It's like more.
It can actually get a little bit louder. It can get a little bit louder. Oh,
you ever talk to him?
He's one of my favorites. Yeah. He's the sweetest guy.
He seems like a totally great guy.
He is the sweetest guy.
Soft-spoken, right?
Yeah.
Ghost white hair now.
Looks like Gandalf.
It does look like Gandalf.
He played a few years back at Cedar Street downtown in Austin.
Right by Pesce, right?
Yeah. That little tiny little thing. And they had to, without really planning, block off the end of 4th Street.
Oh, shit,
at
really?
Colorado and Lavaca, because the street just piled. People just
wanted to see it. That's insane that he's still got that kind of pull. That's wonderful to see, man. I think it's the antithesis of modern music, which for many of us doesn't really work conceptually, right?
Yeah.
And we go back.
Isn't that what brought you to Sonic Youth?
Yeah, dude. That was my first show ever.
Wow.
REM and Sonic Youth. Sonic Youth opening up for REM for the Monster Tour. And I hadn't been to a live show before. And I was sitting there.
Welcome to live music.
And my mom was always reticent to let me go. I missed Nirvana in 94 because I was so young. But she let me go to the show, which was a wonderful send-off into the foray of shows and stuff. Wow. And Sonic Youth started playing. And I was like, I think this is going to kill me how loud this is. Because they're playing music with feedback. That was not a concept I understood at 14-year-old.
Yeah.
So it was a really, really wonderful experience. And REM seemed so mild. Well, I mean, I guess they were, but they're so mild in comparison.
How great for them to take Sonic Youth out on the road.
Oh, perfect.
Neil Young did it too.
He took Sonic Youth
Neil
out?
Young, I saw, God, I don't even know what year that was, but I saw Sonic Youth, Social Distortion, Neil Young, and Crazy Horse.
Oh, Jesus.
In a stadium show.
Oh, man.
At Reunion Arena in Dallas.
How was the show? Insane.
I'm not a big Social Distortion fan.
I'm
just going to put that out there.
But, if you play 3 chords pretty well and you can sell it, Mr. Ness. I mean, shit.
Rewrite Johnny Cash songs?
Yeah, exactly.
And just do it.
And he's from Orange County, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, were they... When you were kind of growing up, here's my dream thing. I hope that you caught a Black Flag show when you were in your teen years in San Diego.
Yeah, in San Diego, I was more, yeah, flag, TSOL. TSOL was a big one that I used to see back then.
Oh, that's crazy. How were those shows? Virulent, as they say?
I think it got more crazy later on. I'm sure it was.
When they got bigger?
Maybe when I was big enough to get in the middle is probably when it got crazier. It's just
that's
back
insane.
then I think I just kind of stood where I could see the show and just watch the fray, you know.
Did you feel like something special was going on? Because I look back at it now, I was just a tad bit too young and I didn't fucking live in California, but you know, there was something going on. That defined something, you know.
Yeah, you could
American
definitely
music.
feel that energy for sure.
Yeah. What do you think about how well, Faith No More is a good story. I think they put out a pretty good record. But what do you think about Black Flag trying to reincarnate and do all these different versions with Greg Ginn and stuff?
I saw the Keith Morris. I saw the Flag one a couple of years ago.
I love Keith Morris. I mean, Off's amazing still.
I'll watch him no play in any band. Yeah. I went to Riot Fest They played Riot Fest a couple of years ago up in Chicago, and
Killer.
They were awesome.
Was it, man?
4:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. People riled up stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's incredible. I mean, so obviously that must have built up in you and you started to actually learn how to play guitar at some point, right?
Well, I wanted to learn how to play all those songs, you know?
Yeah, because they're not so hard. The Circle Jerks are doing it. It's like, man, this is maybe 4 chords in this song, but it's so freaking powerful. So at some point...
Well, I mean, in my growing up formative years when I told you I was pretending to play guitar, I was looking at players like Jimmy Page, you know?
Dude, I mean, that seems unattainable as shit, right?
Yeah,
Even though
you
he's
just
the
look and you're like,
sloppiest guitar player ever.
No way. Yeah.
It's like he's falling into his guitar. Like he's barely awake when he's doing it.
Oh, I know it.
Inarticulate dude.
Yeah,
but
he
still,
could be just tumbling down some empty cavern, you know?
in a dryer somewhere. Just you're right. But that's good. But that's right. I think that's a common story for a lot of the guitar players that I knew from that era, right? Where there's like, I can't play like Hendrix. I can't play like Clapton.
Yeah.
I can't fucking play like Jimmy Page. But hell, if I'm not going to try to play
I can play
like
Joe Strummer though.
Absolutely, right? Powerful 3 chords, The Jam, Paul Weller. Like you could do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It opened up a lot of possibilities. So,
and also writing too.
Yeah.
As a 19-year-old kid, and the thoughts that go around a 19-year-old kid isn't like Tolkien references,
right?
Or, you know, like psychedelic experiences that I hadn't had yet. You know,
Right.
writing is more like, get off my back, mom.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? It's all revolutionary, reactionary, right? It's funny. If you were to look back at the 20-year-old version of yourself, would you think like, what do you know, man?
Oh man, I have a 20-year-old.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Daughter, son? Yeah. How's that? Is it cool seeing? Did you see yourself in him? And
I do. Like, right now he's the I know everything and you don't know anything version of that I was when I was 20.
Will he take any musical advice?
Like, hey, he totally knows everything about music, but he was a high school football hero.
Oh, no kidding!
And got recruited to go play at a Division II school.
Uh-huh.
And he told me when it was time to roll around, he goes, "Man, I don't want to limp anymore. I'm tired of limping."
Makes sense.
Like, what do you want to do? I said, "I want to make music."
That's incredible.
So we sent him to a recording engineering school.
Yeah.
Now he writes beats, and he's
is he in Austin?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So when you say we, is it your girlfriend, your wife,
his mom, and I?
Oh, cool.
We've been separated for
still
a long time.
On good terms, though, right?
We're still parenting partners.
Good. So we had that work out for. Did he pick an instrument too? Like you kind of pick guitar? Did he gravitate towards?
He's on the computer. He's writing beats.
Gotcha.
Rapping, writing rhymes.
What do you like it?
Yeah. I mean, it's not my. It's not
your style.
It's the new style. But then when we ride in the car together and stuff, I'm like, I'm throwing on the Far Side or
that's
De La
classic.
Soul.
Dude, you can't. I mean, De La Soul is classic.
Yeah.
Where it starts. At least most of it, like in the '90s and modern.
That's where my hip hop started. Was De La.
For me too. Yeah, and I don't know why. I guess I spent some time growing up in Salt Lake City, which is really the whitest place I've ever lived. I always vow that I hadn't seen a Mexican until I moved to Texas because of fucking Salt Lake. But you think about De La Soul, and even that, which now seems pretty mild, that was like pretty subversive. Even that, right? But it's huge thing. Q-Tip, right? Like I don't know the stuff that he's worked on since too. So yeah.
Prince Paul. I mean, I think Prince Paul is the gentleman, the key that holds everything together and all of that. And that's those things that he writes attract me. So when we're riding in the car, I know my kid's writing beats. I'm like, you gotta listen to this dude's beats. You know,
That's the best part of fathering, right? It's like setting him straight. It's like, hey, I get what you're doing. It makes sense. Sounds good. But just some knowledge for you, right?
Right.
Yeah. Do you make him mixtapes and stuff?
What's that?
Did you make him like mixtapes and stuff like that? If he's receptive to it.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah.
He'll follow a playlist on my Spotify station. Or
that's cool. Yeah. I mean, that's about as good as you can get now.
Yeah. That's today's mixtape anyway.
Digital age, for sure.
Click.
Man, that whole experience has been degraded a bit, but like stepping away from vinyl, stepping away from the large CD
Well, maybe
boxes.
you stepped away from vinyl. I was listening to Wilco's AM this morning.
No, you were not. Really? Purist son of a bitch, right?
Well, but I love this Spotify shit. I love carrying around like 8 of my record collections in my pocket.
It's an audiophile's wet dream, or digital wet dream, if you will. It's insane.
Or someone with such widely varied interests as we have, you know, to show up at work and go, oh man, I really just want to listen to Squeeze.
Right.
You're like, I don't have any Squeeze on my iPod or
Guess who has it? My dealer, Spotify.
my music dealer.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy how that works. Like I was listening, I don't know if I really like a lot of Brit rock. I don't know why, I just kind of gravitated toward it.
Yeah.
And there's a couple good records out, like the Wolf Alice. I don't know if you've heard that. That's a great, solid rock record, up for the Mercury Award this year too.
Oh no, I don't think I've heard that.
It's front to back, like a great record. And they're young, man. They played. I saw them their first show in the U.S. at Holy Mountain before it closed. And that is a band to watch, like one of the few, a classic rock band. And then the Drenge, you ever heard of those guys? Man, I was listening to that new record today too. Talking about like a great guitar record. Drenge, straight up Dreng. But so what was the band? What was that first band called where you were playing guitar?
we were
always
called,
the first one.
Yeah, I know it. We were called Noise Flood.
Noise Flood. That's pretty good.
It was a buddy of mine that was the other guitar player, saw this German play about the flood and Noah, and it was called Noise Flood, Noyes with umlauts.
I got it.
Flood, you know,
the fancy
with
German version of
Flood. Noah's Flood, the German version.
Das Flood.
And yeah, that was a pretty noisy, feedbacky band. I think we were trying to blend. I think we were trying to be. I was thinking about this about a couple of weeks ago. I think we were trying to be if Bad Brains had been white and grew up in Minneapolis.
Oh, dude, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like a little bit punkier and less self-loathing Husker Du.
Yeah.
Basically, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
because they're so emotional, and you know, obviously he was a depressive dude for a long time.
Yeah, we were more singing of the joys of debauchery.
Yes, see, that's good. Rattling across it. So, were you guys playing just in Texas, or were you touring around a bit?
We stayed in Texas, Dallas, Austin, Houston. Mm-hmm. That was pretty much the run. We could go to Oklahoma City.
Oh, sure.
There was a bar up in Oklahoma City we could play. Yeah. And that was about as far as that band got.
Was it something? Did it pique your interest in doing that as a career at that point? Like, was that the goal the whole time? Is like, I got to just do this. This is my calling.
I think we started that band because we wanted to open for our friends, the Buck Pets.
Oh yes, not a bad reason to start a band.
So yeah, and once we did that a couple of times, then it was like, oh well, we can be a rock band too.
Yeah.
And
so it evolved, didn't it?
Version
2.
It did. It evolved into like having to lose band members and friends to bring someone in that can actually hold the fort down.
Yeah, you get mature and you're like, man, you know, it'd be good. A drummer, like a drummer, a guy that knows drums,
right?
You know,
yeah.
Instead of tossing,
or maybe has them,
or maybe has them. Yeah. Did you guys have the debacle that is that of finding a bass player, which you just try to get?
No,
a guitar
actually,
player?
we one of the guys in Noise Flood was a guy that I took with me for the next 12 years playing.
Good friend of yours still?
Jonathan, yeah. Jonathan Mulkey was his name. Great bass player. Speaking of the Rickenbacker bass, he played one of those.
That same kind of tinny, really rough. And
which even he probably did a little by the end of it, was probably doing a little smacking too.
Yeah.
You know, we were listening to the Red Hot Chili Peppers back then.
Yeah. But, I mean, I was like, yeah, it's a Fleet thing, isn't it? Because he was kind of the guy to bring it back.
Yeah,
Not
he
a
really
lot of
was.
people really slapped. I mean,
But
you got
those
Fishbone and
guys,
stuff,
I mean, you
but-
talk about the Chili Peppers now, and you're like, man, I used to love them, and then people just go, oh, Chili Peppers.
Okay, so about the Chili do they not sound like the best high school talent show band you ever heard?
You're talking about Chili Peppers now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's every song I was like, oh, I think I heard this in the 90s when some 16-years-olds put a song together.
Yeah.
And I mean,
It's like they took Pro Tools back to the 90s.
yeah, it's so formulaic to a point where it's just kind of, it's flabby, man.
Yeah, it's not
like,
freaky styly.
No, it's not. I mean, even Blood, Sex, Sugar, Magic's good. It's a great, the production on the album's great. It
Excellent.
sounds great, you know.
Yeah.
Mother's Milk's good, you know.
Yeah.
So, but you have this difference.
That's probably about the end of their run for me, Mother's
Yeah.
Milk.
Yeah, well, when Frusciante left, I mean, what happens when you lose the soul of your band? Seriously, man, the guys.
Well, I mean, they snapped back getting Frusciante after Hillel.
Right,
you know?
sure.
You get like one chance to do that. You don't get to just keep replacing.
Miraculous transformation too, like their maturity, you know, from Hillel to Frusciante. I mean,
Well, like it's the same thing that happened. I think that maturation had happened when they canned Bob Stinson from the Replacements and replaced him with Slim Dunlap.
yeah, okay, that's
You know,
fair too.
They made a
Kind of started writing songs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, this guy can play along with me. Okay,
Yeah.
let's
This is good. This is good. We got a volley going now, you know,
Yeah.
instead of having to.
let's call Alex Chilton and see if he wants to record a record.
Yeah, he's
for
not
us.
doing anything. Big Star's done, right? Totally done. So how did that work out? That second incarnation of the band. So still Noise Flood.
Actually, we changed the name to Snatch Lizard.
Snatch Lizard.
Snatch Lizard was the band that.
A pretty pleasant name.
Sure.
I would love to see the shirts actually. For
Oh, there
Snatch
were
Lizard.
some shirts. There were some shirts and posters. We had a couple of friends that were just incredible artists that did some great posters for us. Crazy, weird, kind of gross.
And this
stuff.
is this early '90s or still '80s?
We are about 88,
Oh,
89
man.
then.
Things are getting ready.
Deep
to
Ellum is
change.
blowing up.
Yeah.
We went from two, garage, open garage door bars to, 9 live music venues in
That's
about
crazy.
2.5 years.
Did the people come?
Yeah.
Totally did.
Oh,
They were
people
ready
came.
for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of like subculture in a sense, right?
They were. There was only one place to go.
Yeah.
And a lot of people from all over that huge Dallas
massive
area
city.
to come in.
Yeah.
So that went fun. That was fun. We were a
really good.
troublemaker band.
Did you, as you kind of matured and evolved, I imagine the sound evolved as well. And did you guys tour then? Or
We
still
did.
Kinda, yeah.
We took it out a little bit.
Yeah. How was that experience?
That shit'll break you.
Did you end up killing any of your band members?
Well, not me directly, but
Okay.
we lost. I did the count the other night with some guys that I'm playing with right now. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that band killed 5 people.
Oh my god. That's how it goes, man.
Not directly, but there's a big drug thing going on in Dallas back then, and
What was the drug in Dallas at that point?
heroin was the
in the 80s?
one that was killing a lot of
It
people.
wasn't
back
yet.
then.
Well, actually, I guess it transferred into the suburbs at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Heroin was a big thing, like Plano and stuff.
Plano High School, the
Yeah.
big drug thing in Plano.
You're bored, and I never got that. Like, you got money, you got a good family, and you got a car.
But
like,
that can sometimes be the curse.
sure.
You
Boredom.
know, that easy life.
Yeah.
Here,
No struggle.
you're 16. Here's your new car.
Here's everything. What do you need? Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
I can't buy you heroin. Oh, all right, there we go. Then that's what I'm gonna do. Dad don't give me heroin. I'll get my own heroin
I can get my own heroin. And it was there
for the taking.
for the getting.
Yeah. So did it work out? I want to think that you guys got an offer, that you were on a small indie label, that you got to travel around the bit.
Oh, I love this story, but that's not how it
No,
went
it
down.
didn't.
I actually another band that was playing around Dallas at the time called Last Rites.
It's vaguely familiar, but
They
could be
came out
different.
of the Denton scene,
right, UNT kind of thing, RE,
yeah.
right?
And they were a funk thrash band when that was really starting to come up. Recording their third record, kind of trying to move into more of that I hate to say it, but into that kind of grunge feel. A lot more flowing stuff, a lot more sustained guitar structure, a lot more
verse, chorus, verse,
long vocals instead of rackety. And, I was waiting tables at an Italian restaurant back then, and I looked up one night at the host stand, and 3 of the guys from that band are standing there, kind of looking at me.
Did they?
Like, can we sit in Jeff's section?
Did you? So you knew each other?
Yeah,
because you've been playing around, right?
We've been playing. We played gigs together and stuff, and after parties and all that. Yeah, we knew each other.
Good community, I guess, at that point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. A lot of bands, we do 5 band bills.
Oh, okay. So
you
guys become buddies. Yeah,
totally. So these guys sit down. I'm like, what's up? Bass player, drummer, and guitar player.
Hey, there's somebody missing.
What's going on? What are you guys doing? They're like, we just came from the studio and we're recording a new record. And what time you get off? Because we'd like to talk to you about something. I was like, it's going to be hours, but what's up? They're like, well, Pete, the singer, he's not hitting what we want to hit here. We want you to come and listen to the record and see if maybe you can do it. And so I joined that band later on that night.
You said this was their 3rd record?
This was their 3rd record.
And different. And so now you singing comes into the picture. I didn't realize this. We didn't even chat about that.
We basically played the rest of their last right shows that were booked and changed our name to Methatone.
Okay.
Which we had some good times. We had a lot of great opening slots.
What's
in
anyone
Dallas.
that you remember that was particularly great?
Afghan Wigs.
Oh shit, really?
Got to open for them. Got to open for the Jim Rose Circus sideshow.
Really? That's insane. Before they did Lollapalooza, I imagine.
After the first Lollapalooza.
That was crazy. I mean,
that was the craziest shit.
Stuff.
When you open for them, you actually close the show. They do their show, and then the band plays after them.
Oh, that's crazy.
I remember coming out to do our first song, which is this big, driving thing, lights flashing and everything, and the room at Trees is completely full because it was a sold out thing for them, and everyone's kind of looking over my shoulder, and I finally look back from the mic stand, and 4 of the freaks are perched on top of our amplifiers like gargoyles, just
and then there's some dude trying to pick up a mic stand with a wiener, which is just how it works out. That's the guy they were looking at.
We did some great shows, small tours, regional stuff. Never took that thing out west like we wanted to.
Did you think that would have changed things?
Nah, I don't know.
No, it was an interesting time at that point. I mean, they were.
We're in '91 in Dallas.
They're pulling all the mock up bands that are kind of like Nirvana and Soundgarden and stuff, and so people even say, I mean, you talk about Pearl Jam and stuff, although they've proved the test of time, but at the time people were like, they're just another band from
I
Seattle,
think even those guys thought they were going to be a 1 or 2 off band back when they started. Yeah.
I mean, that's actually really impressed with their career so far. They're a rock band. They're like Zeppelin to me in the fact they stuck around.
Well, except for they lasted 25 years instead of Zeppelin.
10 years maybe?
something like
that, under 10.
68 to 80.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah,
12 years.
Yeah, because Led Zeppelin 169.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just under 12 years, probably.
Yeah.
Fucking at least longer than the Beatles. Jeez.
True.
Yeah.
How do you, I guess it was easier to put your stamp on shit back then.
I guess so. Yeah, smaller pond, if you think, or smaller pool, I guess.
Well, and once a year, you have to put out 9 songs.
Right. Yeah, doesn't sound so bad now.
Now twice a year you got to put out a 28 song, release.
Single every. Weezer keeps putting out songs every 4 weeks. It seems like why? Why are they? This is not the radio doesn't care. Nobody, it's totally different.
Well, I mean, do you listen to the radio?
No, it's horrible.
Well,
Spotify all the way.
Yeah,
let me curate it.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly
pick what I want.
Yeah,
I mean, and that's obviously that's at the plight of the music industry in a lot of different ways. And that's why vinyl is actually the largest segment now in terms of revenue. And it's the largest growing segment because I was chatting with one of my friends here the other night, and I said, the reason that vinyl makes sense is because the people that used to buy vinyl physically know how to pay for music. Some kids don't they don't even wait, I give you money for this?
Pay?
What the hell are you talking about? We just remember it was a transaction. We just put our hand out, we get some cash, and that's how it worked. And it's funny how that stuff Because now those kids, when we were 16, we had no money, and now we have no money, but we'll find money to buy music with. You know?
Oh, I have more concert shirts now than I ever had when I was a kid.
Right.
I go to a show
crazy.
and I'm like, oh, rad shirt.
Yeah.
$20.
Done.
I was going to spend that at the bar. I'm still going to spend it at the bar.
Hell yeah. We know it doesn't make any difference. We're going to get what we want to
Have you
get.
seen that Vinyl Me Please
No, what is
record club?
Uh-uh.
Oh, shit. It's been. I saw it on Facebook and just kind of looked into it. Mm-hmm. They send you a kind of a special release record every month.
Oh, cool.
It's a good chunk. It's a couple of $100 for a year subscription.
Yeah. But once a month though, you said
once a month
vinyls,
you get this package. Well, I didn't. I was like, I'm not dropping $200 on that.
Quite a bit, yeah.
But I saw this little. They're doing a warehouse sale release. Whatever these 3 records that we've sent out are available.
Yeah,
it's like $26 for that Wilco AM
cool.
20th gatefold release on tangerine orange vinyl, 180 gram vinyl.
Yeah, it's great.
It comes in this package. It's got the record. It's got a little bit of prose, and it has a cocktail recipe.
No shit.
The idea. Oh, and it also has an album-sized piece of original art.
Tell me what Tweety drinks. I think we all kind of want to know what Jeff Tweety drinks.
It's Tito's vodka. It's basically a vodka Collins with Topo Chico float.
I see. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Pretty common.
Sure. Very Austin.
Very Austin.
Tito's. It was specified in there.
Yeah.
So the idea is you go and you put the record on, you make yourself a drink,
and
you look at the art, you read the poem.
A full experience.
Every month.
That's killer.
Isn't that funny?
That is pretty cool. Yeah, I would have never thought that's where people want experiences now. That's what they're buying. They're buying experiences because you can. Music's kind of transactional. People don't really consider value in it a lot of the time. Like I don't blame them. A lot of the songs, it's like, yeah, this was good. I heard this when I was shopping at Macy's for 30 seconds. I'm done with it. Like I'm not engaged. You know, I'm not connected.
Where was this? Where was this? Oh, it was the pasta aisle at HEB. That's where that's where I heard that song.
Yeah, exactly. I was buying black beans.
Well, now. So I don't spend a whole lot of money on music unless I'm at a show and they're selling a record.
Yeah, because it goes right to them. Right?
Yeah, or the T-shirts. That's where I spend my money on a band anymore. It's like at their show.
That's great.
Buy their merch.
Because you know they're going to get a cut of that. And it's no 360 deal in that case, you know?
Well, and my other contribution to bands, I've got one of my favorite bands from the Dallas area, and one of my favorite Texas bands in general is a band called Pleasant Grove. You heard them?
I'm not familiar, no.
Really great, melodic, beautiful, textural, dynamic band.
Yeah.
I put their record on replay when I go to bed at night.
Oh, really?
And I just let the record play over and over on silent while it's sitting next to my bed.
Oh, man, do you love that noise, that needle?
Well, no, I mean, I don't even hear it.
No.
But it's registering as listens on their Spotify account.
Oh, yeah. You remember there was that band that did that? I think out of California. They just had a 30-minute silent track. And
it was like 5-second songs.
Yeah, something like that.
They had their fans just play repeat every night.
Brilliant. So we both have kind of like a musical past and all this, and so one of the records I worked on is on Pandora, and I didn't realize that. So every now and again, Sound Exchange will send me a check for $12.
$12?
Hell yeah!
Damn.
I'm doing better than, I don't know, Pavement probably now. God forbid, but yeah, it's just it's a totally weird industry.
Yeah, it is
now.
$12. The Buckpats had a song, I believe, and used in a commercial or on a television show or something. And my friend Chris showed me one time the checks he would get.
Yeah,
and he had like a stack of like 2-cent.
Oh, it's such a waste of everything.
Checks.
It's like a negative $10 when you figure in fuel. Like those checks are costing everybody $10.
Oh yeah,
it's insane. It's just a weird model now. But at some point, the band, you said it was Methatone, yeah. So you guys broke up, I imagine.
We talked about what was going on in Dallas around that time, and I could get myself involved in some of that.
Did you start kind of seeing that it could draw you in, the bad
lifestyle? It could draw me in. It did, here and there draw me in. I got a good head on my shoulders. I never get too deep into things, but
was that
between what was going on up there and a cute little girl that I started hanging out with in Austin. I came down here. This is kind of funny. I came down here to hang with my friend Jeff, and we went to a swimming hole down on Barton Creek called Campbell's Hole.
Okay.
It's roaring. It's like the beach down there. You know, the water's rolling, and there's people everywhere. And I come back to Dallas, and I'm like, man, I'm just going to go back there and just go to Campbell's Hole every day. And so I made the move pretty quickly in a matter of weeks.
So you met the, let's call her the small, cute girl. You met her in Dallas? You met her in Austin?
Met her in Dallas.
Did she come with you?
Well, she was living down here.
Oh, okay.
I ran into her when I was hanging with my friend Jeff.
Oh, right.
Here's this creek flowing. It's the beach. It's wonderful. I'm like, there's nothing like this in Dallas.
Done.
I'm probably saving my life by getting out of here. Came down here, went over to Jeff's house. I'm like, let's go down to the creek. He's like, oh, that shit's dried up.
Damn it.
I said, it dries up?
Bait and switch. God damn it.
But this town, but it's stuck, you know?
Yeah. What year was that when you came down?
Late 91.
No kidding. Yeah. Oh, it's a totally different entity then.
Oh, completely.
Do you like it? Do you like what it's become?
Somewhat. Yeah, I mean, most of it.
Yeah.
Disappointment in the city for the way that they planned this growth, but I don't think anybody
planned the growth.
I don't think anybody could have planned for what happened in like 99 to this town.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The huge boom. There's no way to
huge. And people from California love coming over here and stuff. I don't know if it's because of tech or what, but I mean, it just keeps growing, and it's.
Well, you sell your 2-bedroom house out there, and you come and you get a.
So it's $1 million for my 1,000 square foot house in San Jose. Even, you know, and then you just come down here and you can actually live like a king for a little while. At what point was that transition? Did you do? I'm sure you did. You're a lifer. I can tell, man. It's same with me. Like whether or not I'm putting out a record or whether I'm playing in a band, like I can't let music go.
Yeah,
I just can't. But at some point, you started. You said you were waitering at an Italian place in Dallas. Like, did you get into the service industry
fit back then?
Yeah,
because you could go. All right, I got to leave for 2.5 weeks.
Right, I got to go on tour.
Shifts, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So when moving down here, that kind of became the main source. I started cooking. And kind of stayed with that for a while.
Were you line chef, sous chef, head chef?
Line cook at, you know where the Maiko Sushi is down on 6th Street?
Maiko? Yeah.
That used to be Sfuzzi. Sfuzzi. It was a New York company that went public and opened up a whole bunch of locations.
Really? What kind of cuisine?
Italian
stuff. So you worked there?
Worked there. Worked under a great chef that was, one of the first people I ever met that was like CIA.
Yeah,
I thought that was a huge deal.
Totally legitimately trained and stuff.
Yeah.
You learned a lot?
I loved that, and then left that shit and went and worked at Magnolia Cafe for 4 years.
Hell yeah! Which one? The one on...
I worked at both of them eventually, but mostly at that Lake Austin.
That's such an amazing place.
Oh, man.
It's still like the best.
And that was that was an anomaly of like 40 people who just absolutely loved each other. We spent all of our social life together all of our...
Like a little family.
Awesome.
That's crazy. Was it different? It probably looked about the same, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure they've updated anything in the construction, but it's still that's where the charm comes from, that place.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize and I've been in Austin since 2000, and I had no idea that it was the Omelet Tree at one point.
That was the starting point.
Yeah.
Omelet Tree had two kids, and it was Kirby Lane and Magnolia Cafe.
That's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I heard it was over a bitter divorce. That's how
that went down. Yeah. A bitter divorce and a bitter management owner relationship.
Not good.
Yeah,
did it slow down, or was it a cool place to work?
It was always a cool place to work. Yeah. I left there to open Stubbs.
No shit.
And I was working the kitchen at Stubbs when they opened.
That's cool. How was did anybody care about barbecue back then?
Yeah, I mean,
it's something. I mean, but it's like a massive powerhouse.
Yeah, I mean, not like today. No one was standing in line at 9 in.the morning to get Stubbs barbecue at lunch. But
I'll tell you the brisket though, pretty close. Something more standing around for that. But so you're around music, obviously. But at some point, when did you transition from behind the counter in the kitchen to the bar?
That Well, I left Stubbs. In '96 to go cook at a fly-in lodge in Alaska for a couple of years.
Wow.
So,
did you leave the short, cute girl in Austin?
Oh yeah, she was a flash in the pan.
I see. Yeah.
At this point,
she was all dried up, much like the creek. Sorry,
that's good. That's good. I had actually my girlfriend that I left in Dallas followed me down here and wouldn't let go of me. And we ended up having a kid and getting married.
How did that work out?
That fizzled out after a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But
I've been married. I plan on doing it again, but this second time, I think it's gonna. It feels like the right thing.
You know what you're looking for a little bit better the second time around,
right? Like imagine yourself getting. I mean, now you have a much more exquisite tastes. You can understand which things did not work.
Yeah, I need to let go of some of those exquisite tastes at this point.
That's good. So
Alaska,
man,
and then
how do
Portland.
you get connected with an Alaska gig? There's no internet. Well, there is, but there's not really internet. How did that happen?
It was kind of weird. It was a girl that worked for me in the kitchen at Stubbs went up to work at this lodge. She and her sister went up to work at this unknown remote lodge.
Where in Alaska was it?
East of Denali Park, about 60 miles.
Totally secluded, I imagine.
Yeah, by Cessna.
Crazy.
You take the trash out. By Cessna,
That's incredible.
It was a great time in my life.
How is it socially when you're kind of that secluded from everything?
Another family. You get another family situation going on there. Yeah. You got 35 people that live out in the middle of nowhere.
And they've got to bond. You got to get to know each other.
You've got to. There's going to be fights. There's going to be fucking.
It's got to be everything.
All of that.
That's where network TV came from. Right there. That dynamic of having a family, right? So what? Obviously, that you can't do that forever. I mean, I can't do that forever.
No,
you made it back to Austin.
Plus, I had a 2-something-year-old kid.
Yeah,
it was kind of an escape hatch for me.
Did you understand what it was? So here's the interesting thing. I'm a guy right now, like as of this moment. I'm a guy. I'm not a father. Right? I'm a dog owner. Different. Not a father. But that moment in which I have a child and they're born, I'm a father. Like how does one? There's many fathers. There's millions and millions of fathers, right?
Yeah.
Is that a hard thing to kind of see yourself as?
I think it lets itself happen to you pretty naturally.
Yeah.
The moment I had his wet, squealing body in my hand was like, it's
all different now.
Yeah.
Right?
I think there's a chemical change that happens in your body at that point.
There's got to be. It's interesting. But was it just a kind of an overwhelming feeling, just having to be a father? Because you take, so not getting into a lot of my background, but like I've got father issues. I certainly do, right? Definitely do. And is it just? It seems like everything's cool now, but you had to take some time to kind of process that.
The kid part was the easy part. The divorce thing was the hard part.
Yeah.
Basically, the girl that worked for me at Stubbs called me, which is weird. She was calling me from a satellite phone in remote Alaska.
Oh, that's crazy.
She said, I don't know what you're doing right now, but we just fired the chef here. We're 2 weeks into the season, and they've got nobody to run this kitchen.
Wow.
And I thought you would be great for it. Here's my owner's number. I called the dude. We talked for 40 minutes.
Good chat, I guess.
Yeah, he said... all right, well, here's the deal. If you want it, call me back. I'll buy a plane ticket tomorrow, and you'll be on your way.
Wow.
I hang up. I call my kid's mom. Say, look, I've got this thing, We've got a friend of ours that will totally watch this kid, my part of the time. And I've got a chance to make a whole bunch of money and do this. I'll be gone 4 months. What do you think? And she's like, you do whatever the fuck you want to do. And I'm like, well, okay.
Did you take her for a word instead of the tone? Because the tone could really define that.
When I called her back and said, all right, I'm leaving at like 11 o'clock in the morning, so I'm going to come over and get Linus and hang out tonight before. Yeah. And she's like, you're what?
What? I thought you just told me to go. You actually said, just go.
Said it. Yeah.
Oh, the utter confusing.
Oh, she said, I didn't think you'd really do it.
Do it. See, have you ever said something to somebody thinking that they wouldn't do it?
Absolutely.
Have you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never could. It's like, I dare you to punch me. I know they're gonna fucking punch me, so I'm not gonna threat. I'm not gonna, no empty threats. Like, I know
Oh
they're
yeah,
gonna do
my
it.
filter can be a little thin.
So you came back after about 2 years.
So I did that for a summer. Came back here for a winter. Worked out there at Austin Country Club doing banquets for a winter.
Still cooking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back up again for another summer. Came back. At this point, when I get back, I had held my house when I was here. I had an acre in Sunset Valley.
Oh, cool.
That I bought for $70,000 in
Dude,
'94.
I can't imagine what. Do you still have it?
Oh no.
Oh, damn it.
Oh no, I couldn't afford the taxes on that thing now. If I
Fair
did.
enough.
Actually, their taxes are cheap in Sunset Valley.
Yeah.
But if I have one regret,
It'd be that millions I lost. For the
millions, literal millions that I let go.
We'll
I did
laugh
fine.
about it now. Yeah, we have to laugh about it.
Yeah, there's another thing. So I go through that, and my kid's mom is dating a rock star that lives in Seattle.
Oh man, somebody worth noting.
Greg Dooley.
From Afghan Wigs, of
Yeah.
which you opened for.
Yeah.
Did she meet it?
We know each other.
Did she meet him at the show?
No, she actually met
my-
him when he got his ass kicked at Liberty Lunch. The security beat him and put him in the hospital, and that's when she met him. So they've been dating on and off for a little while, and she's like, I want to move to Seattle, and I know you like the mountains, and I know you're crazy about the mountains, and I was like, let's do this.
Yeah.
So
beautiful place. I would love to live there. It's beautiful.
So she's like, name the day. I'm like, 4 months from now, July 1st, whatever day it was.
Yeah.
In about 2.5 weeks, I sold my house. I bought a 28-foot travel trailer and parked it in what used to be a trailer park where Maria's Taco Shack is on South Lamar.
Yeah.
And worked construction under the table.
Right.
Banking. Just
of course, man.
Pockets getting full.
Yeah.
It's getting to be that time. I've got a house sitting gig right across Lamar for the last couple of weeks in
So you
town.
can just crash in there, right? And then you got your trailer.
Everything. I've got all my possessions loaded up on a flatbed. I'm ready to go. She says, it's going to be like 2 months maybe before I'm ready to go. I'm like, well,
what?
I got to go.
What's she waiting for?
Getting her shit together.
I see.
Yeah. Well, I moved.
You did it pretty quick. You put it in the trailer.
I ended up living in Portland for 3 years, waiting for her to get her shit together, and it never happened.
How was it then? I love Portland. It's
Portland, 99 to 01.
perfect.
Oh God, it was great.
So good. Speaking of heroin problems, though.
Well, I managed to avoid that situation
good.
there. Yeah.
So did you end up finally making your way up to Seattle? Once she got her shit
No,
together? Never happened.
She finally said, in that time, in that 3 years, she came out 3 times. We went around. We looked at apartments. I had jobs lined up for her at badass bars.
Yeah.
And, she made a boyfriend with a tattoo artist in town.
Man.
And once my kid came up to visit me, and he's like, my mom's friend Chris, my mom's friend Chris. I was like, you're not coming, are you? She's like, no.
Man.
Packed it up, drove back. Oh, that's a funny story. Coming back from Portland, same thing, flatbed trailer, all of my possessions on it.
Yeah.
Pocket full of money, no time limit, no schedule.
Yeah. Nothing tying you down either.
At my going away party, one of my friends gives me a Magic 8 Ball.
Uh-huh.
The toys, not the Magic 8 Ball.
No, yeah, Coke wasn't popular in Portland then. What are we talking about? Maybe now. But.
So I traveled back from Portland by Magic 8 Ball.
You just asked the questions and it determined?
Devil's Gulch 8 Ball, what do you think? It is certain.
Amazing.
Turn the wheel, go in. 34 days.
On the road.
34
Part
days
2.
it took me to get from Portland to Austin.
Any
traveling
adventures
by
from
Magic 8 Ball.
that trip? I can't imagine the places you saw, man.
I'd spent a lot of time in southern Utah.
I love it. Yeah, Southern's totally... Moab's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, so beautiful.
Canyonlands. I did 11 days out in Canyonlands.
Where's the Canyonlands?
Canyonlands is a little north of Arches.
Okay.
It's the big park.
Yeah.
That has like 14 camping spaces.
Isn't it weird how when you're driving, so the more south you go in Utah, it's like, oh, it's kind of just regular brown, red. It's almost like a line.
Yeah.
And you cross it and everything's red. The rocks are red. The sand's
It's crazy.
red. It is so insane. And maybe it's something to do. There was a, like Bonneville, I think, was the big lake that dried up over time.
Yeah,
Big salt lake.
right? Iron deposits. And shit.
Something like that.
It's gorgeous there.
It is beautiful.
September.
Sure. Oh man.
Actually, October actually was when I was going through. So it was beautiful.
So it is fodder for a novel. The Great American Novel by Jeff Boley.
Well, I had the guitar with me. Wrote about 12 songs on that trip.
Oh wow, acoustic
songs. Yeah,
they got to be acoustic, right?
Yeah, I mean they turned them into some stuff.
Yeah.
When I got back to town, I started playing with a buddy of mine that had the home studio going, and we recorded some stuff. And those songs are laying off somewhere doing nothing.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter
until about 3 months ago.
No kidding. You guys resurrected it. Started working on them.
Started playing with Steven Weisberg, one of the owners of the Townsend.
Oh, cool.
Really talented dude.
Mm-hmm.
The grand opening of the Townsend, he told me a couple of days before, he's like, I want to play some songs with you at the grand opening.
Oh, wow. I
said, all right, well, what do you want to do? Let's do something easy. He's like, let's play I Want to Be Sedated.
Nice.
I was like, cool, let's play I Want to Be Your Dog, and we'll just play the I Want to Be songs.
I Want to something, yeah.
So, got up. Played Steven on drums, me on guitar. Dominique Davalos, girl in town. She plays in the Bluebonnets and some other stuff.
Cool.
She's got a long, great career.
Yeah.
Played bass with us. The next day, he says, we should start a band. We played really well together. We should start a band. And here it is, 3 months later, we've got a 5-piece band, Saints of Second Chances.
It is it's a harbinger of success, that name of that band. Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch of things getting second chances in this. The songs that we've all written years ago, the guitar that's been sitting gathering dust in my room.
Yeah. Everything kind of coming to life again.
Yeah. It's fun.
But at some point, I mean, you're in Portland. That's bound to be, the Morgenthaler, what do you want to call it? The dynasty? Was that starting to
It had not started yet
right?
at that point.
Because that's early 2000s probably?
Yeah, probably 04 maybe.
Okay.
That's starting to happen,
but when did you make that shift, though, from doing the cooking to the cocktailing? Not that it's that different. I mean, so here's the thing. The reason that I love to talk about music, it's not only because I love music, but music, to me, is at the heart of every cocktail. Because there's a low note, mid note, treble. There's really the holy trinity. 3, you can do 2 notes, but let's be honest, 3 notes is the perfect balance, right?
That's the chord.
Yeah. Nirvana, you talk about, the Doors is a 4-piece, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm at a loss to the Minutemen, 3-piece, right?
Sure, yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that it's like the simplest way to distill flavors, but music is one of these things that is very metaphoric when you talk about flavors and cooking, but specifically with cocktails. So do you remember that first experience where like, oh shit, drinking is delicious too? It has art to it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it happened with wine.
I
think it was that was what the first. That was the first thing that I ever sat down with 8 other people and listened to somebody talk about with 5 glasses in front of me.
Right.
And started to pull notes out of liquid. I'd been cooking for a dozen or 10 years by this point, and breaking a sprig of thyme under your nose is one thing, but like swirling a glass of big, rich Cabernet under your nose, pull out the
far more dimensional
saddle leather, out of it.
Yeah.
And having somebody go, do you get the saddle leather? And going, I do.
I do get the saddle leather. Thank you for asking.
That was the big thing. My transition from cooking, it really happened. I started working catering bars for a friend of mine that was doing catering things. So it's a lot of, cracking beers and opening wine and doing all of that stuff. But hadn't waited tables in years, and having that interaction with the guest was something that I missed it. Yeah.
It's, you know what? There's something about us that play on stage that it translates into other areas of our life.
It totally does.
I'll tell you, I'll be perfectly honest. This feels like not like we're performing together here right now.
Oh,
right?
we're riffing.
Yeah,
we're
for sure.
Riffing.
It's absolutely. It's instrumentation. We're just going back and forth.
Yeah.
And so I get that, man. And working with Jason Cosmos was talking about it. Like, he misses being on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's one person that could teach a bunch of people about being on.
Yeah.
That dude.
Yeah, he's a brilliant guy.
He was working at Cowboy with me for a while.
I didn't know that.
We were working Friday nights together.
It's like, at one point there was a dream team there, and I feel it's so weird. Like Javier is in here tomorrow night.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude, and Michael Phillips.
Michael Phillips.
Justin Elliott's in next week.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm just covering the whole. If Dressel comes back for any reason, I'm just gonna.
Oh, you'll get him too. Yeah.
I'll have to get all the guys. But it's in this cocktail scene. It's like that was a
we
really
called it
formidable.
Yeah, we called it the wayward, or the halfway house for wayward bartenders is what we called that thing.
Oh yeah, and Adam was there at one point too.
Adam was there.
You guys had Josh Loving. I mean, it's huge.
Stephen Robbins was another one.
Yeah. Soon.
We we even had Rachel Del Rocco in there.
Yeah, dude.
Jen Kaiser.
Yep, for sure. I remember all like the early days of Midnight Cowboy, and of course Bill with his sleight of hand on top of kind of guiding things. It was good, but that wasn't your first foray into craft cocktails, was it?
No, I made the full shift. There was a restaurant on South Congress called the Woodland.
Oh, that's a little kind of.
It's Little Barrel and Brown now.
That's right. Yeah, it was right north of that, Voltorf, right, where the HEB is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A friend of mine opened that place, and I told him, I said, man, we were having drinks one night. I was like, man, I want to smile again, Michael.
Yeah.
My wrists hurt. My back hurts. My knees hurt.
Right.
I just want to,
I want my smile to hurt, man.
Yeah. I want to smile, which I wasn't doing. I also wanted to stop letting go of something that I've been working on to make beautiful and let it go and never see the reaction. There's a joy to making somebody a great drink and setting it down in front of them and having them lift it to their lips. And
there's a moment to that. Yeah, you can share that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So I took over the bar there, and that was I wouldn't call it that a craft scene, but it was fresh juice and quality spirits.
Yeah, for sure.
A better made cocktail.
Yeah, the first. I mean, everything's got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Went from there, Parkside for a little while.
Oh, great! Yeah, it's great.
Opened Peche.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I opened up
Who was
Peche.
over there with you at Peche when you guys opened?
That would be Russell Davis.
No shit.
Me and Russell Davis were the team behind that bar.
The human liability, I hear.
I think he has a lot of nicknames.
Yeah.
I love Russell.
Yeah.
You talk about Jay being like the consummate service. He just makes you feel so at home, no matter who you are, why you're there, whatever. You're just comfortable having a conversation with him.
Absolutely.
Russell, I think you're comfortable if you are in business with him about everything getting promoted just right, because that dude can promote something like nobody's business.
Right.
But
now he's in LA, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Good spot for him.
I'm glad you guys didn't make it out there to try to get that record deal. Could have molested your ethics.
Oh,
so to
yeah,
speak.
for what it's worth.
So we'll look fondly again at the Midnight Cowboy Crew. That's a world-class place. There's some things happening there. There's some brilliant minds working there. Did you
and the
enjoy
freedom.
that?
I think that's really a key to that place is that Tim League has given us really the longest leash in town to just be that weird mixture of classic and innovative.
Sure. Just like the Draft House is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the culture. That's what Tim founded. At least in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
it really is.
Let's blend old with new.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's great that he gives you that kind of liberties.
And that's what's going on there. It's we drink at Cowboy.
Yeah, why not?
We kind of
when in Cowboy.
We have a little bit of a reputation for it, but sometimes that's when some of the best things happen.
It is. It can truly be a spark for inspiration. Now, sometimes it can be the opposite, the spark of folly.
Yeah,
but often,
99 times out of 100 at Cowboy, when there's a good level of party going on, there's hugs and high fives and phone numbers being exchanged
Yeah.
and regulars being made.
That's great.
You know,
That's really
thank
good.
you. You made me the best cocktail I've ever had in my life. And you're like, wow, I better write that one down because I just made that
I
up.
hardly remember. Vodka with that. I put vodka in something. It's like vodka soda. I don't know, something. So
Yeah.
when you moved, but you moved out. Are you still a cowboy?
Yeah.
Working some shifts. And
I do
Townsend
two.
as
I do
well.
2 at Cowboy and 2 at Townsend
Cool.
right now.
But you went to open a place right on West
on West
6th?
6th, yeah.
What was it?
It was called Tapasitas.
Tapasitas, yeah.
Yeah, it was in that. It was in the restaurant in front of Restaurant Jezebel.
Yeah, it is kind of like diagonal to Whole Foods, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. How was that experience? Because it was this was from what I remember in the meeting. This is before I even knew you. I only really got a chance to meet you here recently, which is one of the very memorable thing for me. Great time, had a great time. But I read about you like that being the thing, like that was somehow your chariot, that particular project.
That's how it was supposed to go.
Yeah. What happened?
I think. Well, I initially was drawn into that by a husband and wife kind of management team that I worked with at Podgy House, which was another
cool.
place,
Yeah.
bar that I ran for a while. And I wanted to work with them again, specifically Tori, the wife. She's a marketing master.
Yeah.
Between them, they have 1 million friends.
Makes sense.
They were excited about it. They really did a great design on the place.
Right.
The rebranding of a failure was happening really well. I brought in. I think I wrote a pretty good cocktail list.
Yeah, I heard it was great.
I had Jen Kaiser, Brian Dressel, Aaron Frescus, Adam, Brian behind the bar. I had
All-star team.
all-star
No
team.
lack of talent.
Should have gone great. Had a huge, beautiful patio over Shoal Creek. Everything should have gone fine, and they just dropped the ball marketing-wise.
Just people didn't come, or the quality of food wasn't there. Or?
I think the food got better. Let's say that.
Right.
I think one of the things that killed us was that our landlord was the Cirrus Logic Company, and that guy that runs that company, really great guy, especially to his employees. Every Friday, he throws a happy hour for his employees from 4 to 6.
That's cool.
In that space.
That's good, right?
Yeah, except that it's closed to the public.
Oh.
Actually, it's not every Friday because every third Thursday they would close for the same period of time and have a live band outside, and that would be from 3 to 7.
Closed to the public.
Closed to the public. So once somebody comes to your place,
Prime time.
Yeah. And,
sorry.
Oh, yeah. They don't come back.
That's a terrible business move on his part. He didn't care though. Serious Logic, man. He's got
No.
money, right?
And I think the owner of the space didn't really care because he was getting paid.
Right.
And his,
yeah.
And his rent was nothing because of these trades that were going on. So that was one of the killers of the place.
How do you feel? Are you okay with what happened? I mean, it seems like it would be pretty upsetting.
I saw it kind of going down, and I got out at a time before it had any
Broke
chance
your
to
heart
hurt
too
me.
much. Good work, yeah.
Yeah, I never ever do that either.
No. So this one's different. You must have known. Was it the Magic 8 Ball? It was like,
yeah,
it is certain.
It is certain. Get the hell out of here. Well, I kept Cowboy the whole time. That was a funny negotiation at the table. Me sitting there, and they're talking to me about being the bar manager of this place. I said, okay, well, here's the deal. I have to be off every Saturday night because I'm going to work at Midnight Cowboy.
Right.
And the guy's like, bar manager off every Saturday night? I was like,
the balls on this guy.
Well, I mean, I've always said that I won't leave Cowboy until
someone drags you out of there.
Yeah, until I have to.
Yeah.
Until they drag me out, like kicking and screaming. It's a great room.
Yeah, it is. I mean, no room like it.
I was opening some bars and restaurants for a guy down in the valley for about 2 years. I was driving the first 2 years of Cowboy. I was driving up 360 miles on Friday afternoon to work Friday and Saturday night. That's how much I love that place.
Destination workplace. Who has that? Nobody has that.
Well, when you're a private contractor, the IRS credits you 55 cents a mile on your.
Oh, that's not so bad. That's not so bad.
760 miles a week. You do the math, how that works out.
Yeah, and you're
for my
delivering
taxes.
papers at the same time, so you get some cost on the papers, 55 cents on the gas. Shit, you're making money on that.
Money. Yeah.
Well, so tell me about when. Well, actually, we'll talk about the bottle here. What we've selected, I think these bottles that everybody that comes in that they pick like is very, very telling about who they are.
Yeah.
And you've picked the Old Charter 10. This is actually the second time that it's shown up, and I have it. I suspect after about 12 months of doing this that I'll be down to about one bottle of Old Charter.
You're gonna have to start eBaying that shit again.
Like, no, hey, I got some mezcals here. You should try.
Maybe you need to move the mezcals up to the higher shelf.
Let's see. That's a great point of sale point. Like, yeah, if it's a high level, they want it. But Old Charter 10, which they don't make. This was Buffalo Trace Juice, I think. At some point, I mean, at least Old Charter 8's Buffalo Trace Juice. This is a full 10 years. This is basically one of the most pleasant bourbons I've ever had.
I agree.
Yeah.
The perfect balance between wood and corn.
It's
and
insane,
grain.
right? And it's just smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what did you say?
I think it's 45. Check it. Yeah, check it. Make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could bathe in that. It won't burn. It's insanely good. And it's done. You know, they're not making it anymore.
I remember the billboards when I was a little kid.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Do you know Dave and Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they got married, apparently there was an Old Charter pop-up bar that I missed.
I missed that thing too.
It was a beautiful wedding, but I had to. I mean,
yeah, I was holding out for Elton John tickets that never happened.
Did they come through? Damn it, fucking Elton John, man! I tell you. So it's good. It's a good pick. I'm glad. I'm really enjoying
I
this stuff,
appreciate you sharing it with me.
Oh, sure. It's wonderful stuff. It's plastic cap. Who'd thought that it's a brilliant bourbon, right? It's like if that's any indication of quality. But
I love the little leaf.
Oh, dude, the etched leaf on the bottle.
Yeah.
It's just, that's classy. There's the gold foil stamping around the side of the label.
Yeah.
I mean, that is, to me, old school bourbon, elegantly executed. Brilliant.
Totally agree.
So
well, and that's where our friendship began to flourish, was talking about the wonderful taste of whiskey.
I've tried to hold my resentment for you taking the Old Forester Birthday Bourbon 2015 bottle in your backpack. Now, that is my fault for not carrying a backpack regularly. I have to hide
well,
the
that
booze.
was so funny. That guy, when we walked back in that room where they were keeping the bottles from the blind tasting,
right,
and he walked up and like lifted my backpack that was over my shoulder, and I was like, this dude thinks that I'm gonna steal his bourbon. And I was like, what's going on? He goes, that's empty.
There's so much room in that backpack, man.
I said, empty? He said, I'm not taking all this bourbon with me. I was like, that's all you had to say. Started looking for all the numbers that I was like, I love that.
That's amazing, yeah. Did you take the Woodford Reserve Double Oaked?
I did get the Double Oak.
I knew you took it. It's a great
I got the birthday, the 1894.
Yeah, the Old Forester?
Yeah,
that's a good one too.
And I got the Indian Scotch.
Emerald.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stuff was good too. Damn it, man.
I know, I cleaned up.
Yeah, you cleaned up.
I just remembered all that. Weirdly enough, I rememred all the numbers of the ones I liked.
Did you really?
Yeah. So
I can't remember that.
Bing, 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 bing.
That's great.
I made it. Yeah, I made out with like 7 bottles.
This is you admitting you're a son of a bitch publicly.
Yes.
So I've been to the Townsend a couple times now. You guys got a fucking brilliant staff. It's insane. Kristen's there. Bob's there. Justin's there.
Yeah.
You're there. I love the back bar. It's a beautiful place. How's it going? How's your experience been so far?
It's getting better every week.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good start, and we're really starting to see some rhythm to it.
Yeah, because you, in a sense, maybe this is a strong word, but you're pioneering the concept on that part of Sixth.
Congress.
Sorry, excuse me. Yeah,
that
part of
part of Congress.
We're across from Paramount. Yeah, I mean, it's not done, really. There's not proper on Congress that I can remember. That part, there's not a proper cocktail bar.
No.
Certainly not a place that's that
the closest.
beautiful.
Well, I mean, I'd say if we're the pioneers, then Josh Loving would be the Lewis and Clark out there mapping, because he's had that spot over on 7th Street.
That's true.
For getting on 2 years now.
I know, man, but
it's close.
It's close.
Yeah.
But I keep hearing close.
Oh, I'm
losing hope.
I was in there, I guess probably a month ago, and
it?
it's gorgeous.
Is it?
I'm so excited for them to open.
I think it'll be great.
So we've got that. I talk about to people, I'm like, well, Garage, it's pretty close. And they're like, that's not all that close. I'm like,
no,
it's like 4
It's close-ish for
sure.
It feels far for some reason. I
guess because it's one
up and over.
Well, yeah, it's an up and over thing.
Yeah.
So, and then Small Victory, and then Scranton is taking over the shoe hospital next door to us at Townsend.
Yeah.
That demo should start pretty soon. So,
kind of going to transform it, probably.
Yeah, in a year, we're gonna have a little triad or quadrangle.
Quadrangle, I like it.
Whatever.
Some polygon form.
some way to make a loop of 4 bars, and that's all you'd really need to hit in a night.
Yeah, and then you don't
never
have to
get
go to
on
rainy,
sixth.
even though you still go to half step, Chris.
I still go to half step.
Yeah, you have to go. But that's actually good. You build a little ecosystem out there.
Yeah.
And then some more food trucks maybe will end up down there. There's a couple spots to eat. And then you've got your own.
They're putting up 2 hotels, one on the corner of 7th and Congress and another one in the old Hickory Street, whatever.
Really?
Is another little hotel going there.
There's a hotel going there.
A little boutique-y
It'd have to be small because that was in a really big space.
It's not a big space.
That's cool.
So
you're looking forward to the future then, I imagine.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah, well, and there's other stuff that I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about. I don't know if Jay talked about our plans, but Jay and I are...
we've talked about... I hope that this becomes a place in which people can share things. I mean, that's all that I really hope, and it's just cool to talk about people's passions and kind of where they've been. And I mean, man, you've had a hell of a ride. There's no chance it's close to stopping you.
No, I'm still in full throttle.
What's the thing that you're like, man, I wish I had done that? Because it seems like you traveled the road like Kerouac, you toured a bit. You got to be in Dallas in the heyday of their music form. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty colorful.
If I missed anything, it was probably that the opportunity that I had before my kid was born to do that Southern Hemisphere run all the way down to Argentina,
wow.
To get down there. That's still kind of a dream thing of me. People talk about, have you been to Scotland? Have you been here or there? And I'm like,
soon.
Yeah, the Eastern or, that hemisphere.
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely want to go tour Scotch distilleries and everything. But man, I want to get down into South America and really check all of that out before it gets
too much. I mean,
before it's logged.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, it's been brilliant chatting, man, and I love the music stuff, and it's been really cool getting to know you, and I imagine this will not be the last bourbon that we drink together.
No, not at all.
Not, man. Thanks so much for stopping by.
My pleasure, man. This has been a great time.
Thank you. Wow. Well, there you go. There's my chat with Jeff Boley, the guy who has seen it and been there. I think right now we should kind of start a campaign. We should all rally together. We should implore Jeff to write a memoir because some of the things he's seen, I don't even think we scratched the surface, man. I really don't. I appreciate you tuning in, downloading, streaming, whatever the hell it is that you're doing to hear these mangled words. But thanks for listening to Show to V, and please keep dancing.